Hello guys, and welcome back to Total War Rome 2. This is another PvP battle. This time it's me and Death Ninja versus Demolocus and Dr. Dave. We got a bit of an unorthodox team here. I'm playing as Rome, Death Ninja as Carthage, and we're defending a barbarian settlement. I know, it's weird. Attacking are, well, barbarians. Demolocus is playing as Samaria, and Dave is playing as Iceni, and oh boy, look at this. You can see we can't even see most of Dema's army at the start here, but let's take a look at what we have. So at this gate facing Dema, I've actually gone ahead and I've placed 2 legionnaires up above this gate. Usually you wouldn't put soldiers on the walls in this game. Just working off choke points is better, but of course in barbarian settlements that changes because there's not really choke points on the walls. The walls just kind of lead down anywhere. There's no stairways. So over here I decided to do that because I know they had some pylon that they could throw, and it could be handy. Behind them, there's actually nothing really defending here at the moment. But if you look back here, me and Death Ninja have done an interesting combination here. He has some African pikemen, and I have my Triarii in front of him. A very, very heavy defense right here. I think the Roman pikes are probably better, but I don't think I brought any. Do the Romans even have pikes? I forget. But I decided to team this up to really lock this down if we needed to. Mainly because if he did get through here, I don't remember if I even planned on defending this gate. A big problem is we didn't see what he had. Come back over here, he's just chilling some pikemen out. I got this little defensive location here, some legionnaires defending some dogs who I'm probably going to throw out to fight. Some more legionnaires on the other side, locking down this road from advances. Do I have my marker? I don't think I have my marker. Damn, I don't have my drawing marker. Well, I might, but if I do, I don't know where it is. But the Triarii here to kind of block off this road so nothing can come down here, and maybe even vice versa if it comes down to it. I have some legionnaires over here defending the point, but facing this way to kind of prevent a sweeping motion coming around here. I have more legionnaires over here defending if he lands here. I have even more over here, legionnaires, very heavy melee infantry, stopping him from going around like this, and more legionnaires for the same purpose. I have 3 auxiliary cav. My plan is to immediately rush them out and send them wherever I need to, either to the east to fight Dema or to the west to fight the Iceni. And up on this hill, I have my Praetorian Guard, my 2 most elite units. These are tier 4 units right here. They're just unstoppable. My General and Bodyguard, which is just a generic cav unit. And some Syrian archers, just in case. We'll take a look at Carthage in a moment. Me and Carthage also up here, I have 2 Syrian archers, and he has some Balearic slingers here, and we're just planning to kind of use this hideaway position that can only be reached from right over here to pepper anything Dema throws our way. Now let's take a look down here. We have some stakes placed, so he can't rush any mounted units up here. He has some Cretan archers, some African pikemen, and some Libyan infantry to kind of defend this area and to secure over here. I kind of warned him not to place any units up here where they could be immediately shot at by all this siege equipment and everything, but to place them back and charge them in. He took that advice. One thing I didn't like was he put more units over here, which is a huge weakness because we have so many ranged units that it really made them vulnerable. Over here he has more pike. How many pikes did he bring? Oh boy. Later on we end up making some rules about pikes. Oh god, he brought so many. We end up making rules about pikes later on because, oh Jesus Christ, this is excessive. He has 2 more skirmishers here and some Libyan infantry. Not a lot of melee units, a whole lot of pike. How many pikes did he bring? Look at this. Even more pikes. Libyan infantry, mercenary, Celtic light horses. He's going to charge these out for the same purpose that I'm doing with mine. And up on this hill, some Cretan archers and Libyan infantry and mercenary noble fighters. If I was him, I would have taken these units and put him more down here. But then again, he has an interesting setup with all the pikes. More mercenary and general bodyguard. Wow, I didn't realize he brought so many pikes during this. That's crazy. But let's take a look at what our enemies have. So the Iceni, this is Dr. Dave, have brought 2 sets of heavy onagers, which is why I told him not to set up any defenses over here. Behind that, we got some chosen sword band, very heavy barbarian infantry, flanked by heroic riders, very heavy melee cav, which is, I was worried for his Celtic light horses, because these are just light melee cav. These are very heavy. They would destroy, absolutely destroy those cav. His general is a chariot unit. I don't know if I would ever do something like that. God, can you imagine just standing on this? Like, that looks terrifying. He's got 2 towers and 2 ladders. I love the towers are mini when you're going after the barbarian encampments. Chosen sword band. He went with some very good melee infantry all around. He has the chosen spear band, 4 of them as well. He has a really solid infantry fighting force. But as you notice, there's not a single skirmisher to be seen. No archers, no slingers, no javelin men. Except maybe these chariots. The closest thing he has to a skirmishing unit is his siege artillery, and that is not a skirmishing unit, which is something we took note of in the beginning. Dem, on the other hand, has hidden most of his army, but what we can see, right here there's a battering ram, and some galleys. They're guarding some young axes, not the best infantry, more young axes. He has some noble horse archers, so we know he has some skirmishing horses, more skirmishers already than Dr. Dave brought, and that's all we can really see with a second ram. For some reason he brought 2 rams for 1 gate. That's kind of interesting. I'm not sure what that was about. And the rest of it we just can't see, so let's hit play and get into this 20-minute battle here and see how it goes. I know I made some mistakes here, but as you can see already, we have the horses on both sides rushing out of the gates, just spilling out. Mine are still hidden, so are his. The enemies don't actually know where they are yet, which is good. Mine can't be spotted unless he has troops right here. His are more in view, and he's starting to charge his around here. His plan was to come around this sweeping motion, try to go for the chariots if a plan, or the onagers if a plan presented itself. He's already firing the onagers. He's aiming at this arrow tower. He's so afraid of this single wooden arrow tower that he's actually firing his onagers, which are not that accurate. This would be better with ballista or ballistae. But no, he's firing the onagers, and he has yet to hit it once. Really a waste of artillery here. He's hit the walls a couple times. I don't know if he wants to be doing that. We're not even defending the walls. He's starting to walk his calves so they can save up on energy, and hiding them back here. Really good position to hide them. And Dave's units are starting to move up. The ladders are pushing through his spearmen. Just 1 ladder though. He's moving his onagers around. I think maybe picking a different target. None of our units over here are really spotted yet. Looking over here on Dema's side, he's moving a single ram up. Only a single ram. He's holding everything else back. Okay. Trying to remember how the battle went. This was 2 months before I'm recording this replay, by the way. So my memory's a little foggy. He's moving up the rest of his equipment for scaling the walls. The onagers have ceased fire. Still not a single hit on the arrow tower. I think he realized that. That's why he did that. Chosen spear band are moving as his siege equipment are moving forward. He's Death Ninja starting to move his cavalry around the back some more. Now that he sees things are kind of in flux and moving around. I have kept my cavalry over here, but I'm starting to walk them towards Dema. Picked my target because I see he's leaving young axes on the ram alone, and now he's charging in 3 noble horse archers, skirmishing cav. Not the best skirmishers for going after a defensive position, especially not against very heavy melee infantry on a wall. I'm also sending up my war dogs. These are more of a throwaway unit I brought just to kind of throw him off balance. He's now opened fire with fire arrows on the walls at my legionnaires. My arrow tower has opened fire. Of course, they can shoot a lot more arrows than my tower can. But my legionnaires are well armored, and this isn't likely to do too much. Their morale is also very sturdy since it's the start here. And the Hour Tower has changed targets to the young axes. Let me just see if I missed anything over here. Looks like, yeah, he's parked his horses over here, just kind of waiting for Dave. Dave has his first ladder reaching the wall. He has not sent a single thing to intercept it yet, which I actually end up yelling at him about. I was just, well, not yelling. I was just like, you should really push up or it's going to hurt you. He's already moved the skirmishers away. Full retreat. Full retreat once he saw no effect. Just letting the ram move up by itself, which is part of why I still have my cavalry on the way. The war dogs I have immediately sent forward and just sent them right after the young axes, kind of as more as a scare tactic. Of course, the war dogs aren't doing the best against like a full thing of young axes, especially without their handlers to assist them. But my legionnaires have started throwing javelins into the mix as well. Half the war dogs are already dead. But again, this was more for scare factor. My intention was to make him just be unsure about what I had and that what I could throw at him. So yeah, most of the war dogs are dead, but this unit is almost destroyed already. The pylum are being thrown. The war dogs are flanking the enemies, completely destroying their morale and killing the ones that have their back turned. The handlers are fine. They're still full health, although they're kind of worthless. And there you go. 9 of the war dogs lived. Not many. But that wasn't the best use, but it was an attempted scare tactic. He started oh god, let's slow this down. He started really mobilizing his units here. We can see he has how many archers? He has 9 noble horse archers, 9 skirmishing cavalry. That is a really weird thing. We ended up making rules against this too. But he brought almost half his army as skirmishing cavalry for an offensive attack. Firing his fire arrows at us again. Some of it hitting the tower, but no damage. Over here, Death Ninja has sent some Libyan infantry and mercenary noble fighters to intercept the Chosen Sword Band. Another ladder has hit over here, the Chosen Sword Band, and he has even more Chosen Sword Band running up. Probably going to have to scale the ladders here. The towers still haven't made it to the wall, and he has moved the onagers up. Maybe he's going to fire into his own units. I don't know. My cavalry have parked over here, just hiding behind this area. But I think I was waiting for his general now that I think about it. Ah, yes, he's using this formation, which when we played Shogun 2, I told him this formation was relatively useless in this game. The whole point of this formation is just to keep a constant train of fire going, but it doesn't really help you other than that. If you get charged in melee, you're gonna falter. But so far, he's just shooting a lot of arrows. He's only killed 1 guy. Only 1 guy has died with all the arrows he has shot. The morale bonus is nothing, debuff is nothing to talk about. He's not really hurting the walls. The Hour Tower has taken 1% fire damage, that's it. And here come my cavalry that I've charged around. Now that I see all of his units just out in the open, they immediately turn their fire to my units, and they're charging out some young axes to intercept, and here I charge into their formation. Not a formation you want to be in when you're getting hit by melee cavalry. 2 of them charge in, another one going after the young axes because they don't stand a chance against my units. Some axes being thrown, I believe. No, some more. His general, the noble horse archers, I immediately turn my attention to his general with these units. The other 2 units are just kind of engaging the horse archers because I know they don't really stand a chance. Of course, I don't have the cavalry to fight all these units with just my cav. So I went ahead and I started, I sent another auxiliary cavalry into this mess because I was trying to get his general here. I was trying to get his general. So I've gone ahead and distracted 1 unit with my cav while I send the rest down here. Over here, these poor guys already lost half their men. We're fighting some of the horse archers, the young axes, and getting beat up for it. They've gotten a lot of kills. They've gotten a whole lot of kills. And it's not the most successful charge. He put his entire army on attacking my cav. He completely halted his advance, which is not something I expected. Because overall, while that's a good move at killing my cav, it's not a good move for supporting his actual offensive. He completely halted his offensive just to stop my cav. I wasn't expecting it, so naturally, as you see, my cavalry are starting to die because he's literally sent his entire army after them. But I have killed half of his general unit and gotten a bunch of other kills. Was it worth it? I'm going to say maybe. Maybe because I did get a lot of kills. They may not have gotten any better opportunities to do anything, and I have completely not just halted his advance on my wall, but I've completely turned it back. He had units here reaching the walls. He was peppering it down with so much ammo that he just now wasted on cavalry that weren't going to do the most damage, and he's completely dropped his galleys. He's completely abandoned his assault just to kill 3 cav units. Now, that could be an acceptable loss, especially only halfway, like about halfway through the battle almost. Over here, Dave has started flooding units up through the towers and the ladders, really concentrating and going all in with his units. Where are the cav? The cav are still parked, waiting for an opportunity, which they might have soon if these heroic riders move. But the entirety of Dave's force, all of it, has committed to this section right here. A really bad move, strategically speaking. These 2 infantry units are going to get absolutely torn apart. In fact, this one may be a little bit flanked. They are steadily losing because of how many units they're up against. But it is a weakness of Dave that he has committed so many units here. And the fact that Death Ninja has so many pikemen and Dave didn't bring any skirmishers at all is another weakness. These units aren't going to do the best against pikemen in formation. Oh, you saw that guy like rubber band out? That's a Rome 2 thing right there, if I've ever seen one. But the fighting over here is going pretty constant, even behind the units. Oh, we got some arrow fire coming in now from the Balearic slingers, and over here, the Cretan archers. Oh, and the onagers are trying to fire into his pikemen and actually getting some hits. They're actually getting some hits into his pikemen and his slingers. Looks like he's lost units to them already. But he's, for some reason, moving more? I don't know. But he is getting some skirmishing fire on this, which is good, although they are very heavily armored. They have shields, not the best choice. Because he only has 2 units in his placement, Dave is pushing units through his own lines and charging down this line towards the Cretan archers, which are naturally running away. Now, these pikemen may not be enough, they may be enough, but here's the problem with this formation. If they're not enough, all of our skirmishers over here are fucked. And as you see, our skirmishers are opening fire on some of Dema's units right here that are actually going past the gates and taking heavy losses from our skirmishing. He has some archers over here firing on the walls. He's gotten about 6 kills, only 6 kills after all this time. The arrow towers are nowhere near destroyed. He has some young axes trying to go back to the walls here. His cavalry are just expending all their ammo. He doesn't have much melee units. These ones are on another ram. And the rest just are actually looking like they're trying to go around to Dave. Yeah, a lot of them just look like they're going back to Dave, but they're taking so much skirmishing fire as a result, and they're so poorly armored that he's actually just losing so much of his melee force. Look at this. To just some skirmishing fire. Yeah, and let's take a look over here. So the pikemen are now in combat with some of the Chosen Swords Band, which you can see is not ending very well for the Chosen Sword Band. Only 1 pikeman dead so far, but I mean, what would you expect fighting pikes? I've sent my war dog handlers around because they were so worthless and I expended all their dogs to charge into the rear of these Chosen Swords Band just to assist in some minuscule way. I mean, look at that. And it's enough. He's trying to run them away at this point. And just because I noticed how poorly defended this area was, Dave is now breaking through the lines over here. He's not capturing the tower for whatever reason. And he's charging right down into this pikeman line right here. Oh, got some nice pylum off right there. Nice pylum off. Trying to break through over here. Not sending any units around, but he's trying to push deeper into the base, basically. He abandoned his push over here for the most part, so my war dog handlers are safe. They didn't have a single loss and I'm not giving them a chance to get away scot-free. I'm charging them into the rear of the chosen sword band just to try to cause some havoc. I'm literally throwing these units away just to try to cause some havoc behind their line. He is charging right back into me. These war dog handlers have already half died. Just 20 people died in a matter of 2 seconds. Some pylon throwing, they're getting charged down. Just as a disruption tactic, it's fine. I don't mind. Over here, you see our skirmishers over here are destroying his fucking units. His general unit, all of his cav, everything is so open and suffering massive losses. The majority of his melee infantry have completely abandoned this push. The ram has been abandoned. He's still pushing this ram for whatever reason. And he's just charging around and walking over here to try to get around to Dave's assault to see how he can help. The cavalry, I ended up missing the cavalry stuff. My bad. So let me explain what happened. The cavalry actually got a charge in on Dave's general and his onagers once all the rest of the units committed over here, including the horses, which dismounted and climbed up the walls. The cavalry single-handedly, or I guess duo-handedly, slaughtered all of the, onagers, really. And the general, I believe. Did he get the general? Yeah, I believe he got the general, too. So it was a very successful cav offensive, much better than my cavalry offensive. He's chosen to bring them over here and charge them into the side of Chosen Spearband. That is not a good choice. He's also going to try to neutralize this point. I don't know if he realizes cavalry cannot take a point, but they're just going to get slaughtered by this arrow tower. There's not enough of them. And they're not even on the point. Yeah, they're just getting slaughtered. But as we move along, the pikemen are holding. They've lost some units, but he's charging some Libyan infantry in to support in melee combat. Dave is just like ants, all trying to pour into one entrance, one exit. Oh, look, that charge actually is having some effect. His units are wavering somehow, despite having... Oh, you know why? Because their general died and they're barbarians, so they're really sensitive. A lot of his units are not confident. Yeah, look, general dead. General dead. It's not very good. He put pikemen over here defending here. This is not good. You could set units up in a formation and just charge them right through here if you really wanted to. He would need to move these up for a more efficient scenario. The arrow tower over here is actually shooting into Dave's rear as well with the chosen sword band. His spears have held. He has resumed his offensive over here, and these mercenary Cretan archers have been charged into melee. Hopefully they're out of ammo, I guess. Past the pikemen, I guess. I think he just threw them away. I don't think there's any tactics to this. Kind of like with my my war dog handlers. There wasn't really any tactics to it. But the pikemen are continuing to hold off against all the chosen sword band. These slingers still have ammo, but they're not firing. My slingers over here are looking like they're out of ammo. Maybe. Yes, they look like they're out of ammo from dealing all the damage they did to Dema's units, and they're hiding behind the stakes. Over here, the Triarii have moved up to this to try to defend it. I think I did that earlier. It's a very eventful battle. It's hard to keep up. It's starting to slow down a little bit. But I moved the Triarii up just to hold this. My Legionnaires are still over here just in case, because he still has some units. He finally dropped that ram and is charging these young axes around. Damn, they're really well upgraded. I think he really upgraded a lot of his units. But so far, right now, all the enemy units are centered in this area. I've actually started setting up my own units to help him once I realized all he had really was pikes. I got some Legionnaires coming in to reinforce this melee encounter. More Legionnaires behind just in case something falls. I have Legionnaires moving in on this side to do some flanking tactics. He's trying to counter me with some chosen spearband. Amazing pylon throw right there. And they don't stand a chance against sword-based Legionnaires. I think I might have some more units. He's sending more units, for sure. Yeah, I have some more Legionnaires coming up on this side. Anywhere I sent my own Legionnaires, I sent 2. And I got more Legionnaires coming from this area now that I know it's never getting attacked. Oh, and here we go. My Triaries. All my Triarii are being moved. I've told him several times through the battle at this point to move these pikemen, but he hasn't. I don't think he knew which pikemen I was talking about, though. These Legionnaires are just being left where they are right now, and that's what's happening. Hang on one second. I need to take a sip of water. I'm choking over the waffles I ate. Okay. So as we see, we're in this state of just constant battling. They've really pushed up heavily. The pikemen are more in the rear now, where they more have a breather, like a time to rest. They are still poking up there. We got a lot of melee units supporting them from the Libyan infantry, which are very tired, and my now winded legionnaires. His units over here are completely breaking, and the pikemen are just getting in the way. This is one reason why we ended up making like a rule later on that you can only bring 2 pikes. Number one, because well, in tournaments, that's usually what they limit you to when you have 6 players rather than 4. And also because when you have a lot of pikes, unless the opponent brings like an excessive amount of slingers or something like that, they're really hard to get through. Pikes are a very overpowered unit depending on how they're used in this game. As you can see, these infantry over here are just completely dominating his units. These are cavalry on foot. They don't... What the hell? Oh, okay. That's an exploit. He just pulled an exploit right there. There's this exploit in the game as well where you can, if you like right-click twice on a unit, and you can see they're all breaking, by the way. Like the entirety of Dave's army just broke. It's now down to Dema's army. Fuck, let me slow this down so I can explain. There's an exploit in this game where if you like double right-click on a unit while you're already in combat, you can actually charge through an enemy unit stack, and that's what he just did right there. He was engaged in melee combat. He right-clicked on this enemy unit over here to try to get a charge in. But doing so, he actually pulled an exploit and charged through the unit. That's another thing we ended up making a rule against, because that can be a really disruptive thing, especially with Cav. Over here, Dema's units have finally arrived. His young axes are trying to bring down this gate by throwing stuff at it, but they're getting pylum and arrows launched at them. Yeah, they've already started to run. His skirmishing horse archers are all just out here, just firing arrows occasionally. His general's out here. He has his melee units running to the walls. I've charged my legionnaires up to recapture this arrow tower and just kind of hold the location. His horse archer's still firing. These young axes look so sad and tired. They look broken, some of them. Just completely broken inside and out. Dave's army has been entirely routed, though. The arrow tower here has been reclaimed. My units are taking some fire, but they've raised their shields, which is good. I'm just holding them here to hold the line. Looks like I'm sending up more units. Oh, I'm covering the walls in my units to get some pylon throwing and just drain their arrows. Like, just completely shifting all my units here now that I can. What's left of Death Ninja's army is over here, but he's not sending a lot of it up. He's kind of just letting me do most of it. He's sending some Libyan infantry up and some slingers, which look like they're out of ammo. Kind of just throwing them away. I've moved these units up a little bit to intercept this. They are already wavering, of course. More are coming up here. I got more of my units coming up into this area as well. He's taking a position over here in the corner of the walls for some reason. I'm not quite sure what that strategy is. The arrows, his slingers, sorry, are supporting me up here in the front. The archers out here are pretty useless. His slingers have kind of flanked around by taking a position on the wall over here, in a way. Just like that, okay, all the Sumerian units have broken already. It's now literally just down to the Cav. None of their offensives lasted very long. So it's literally just down to all these units out here, which are already starting to waver, including the general, and they should be routing here. The general just routed. Rout. 2 more. They're still firing, routed, and that's it. That's the end of the battle. That was a interesting one. Very unorthodox unit compositions. Very weird battle. We end up getting a little stricter about it to make some more interesting and varied battles. But that was a really weird one. My cavalry, they got some good kills, but I wouldn't say they 100% did what they needed to. I mean, they completely stopped Dema from attacking, so I guess that was good. The war dogs were thrown away. They got a decent amount of kills. They're really cheap units, but I wouldn't yet say that they did what they were worth. My legionnaires barely took any damage at all on any side, and they got a good amount of kills. And my Syrian archers especially got an amazing amount of kills. One of the Syrian archers never even fired a single arrow. But these ones got tons of kills. They expended all their ammo. And just because of Dema's army running away the way it did. As you see, Dema didn't really get any kills. The most kills any of his units got were like his general and this unit with 50 kills each. Not a lot. And it mainly comes down to them killing my cavalry and war dogs. That's it. That's where all of his kills came from. So this army setup definitely did not work. Half noble horse archers, half young axes. This is, I think, is a really elite skirmishing unit, and these are really not elite young axes, but he upgraded the shit out of them. Max Chevron. Death Ninja, on the other hand, he did really well in this battle, despite some tactical choices I don't 100% understand. And a couple of exploits here and there. He did really well in this battle. The pikemen, Dave charged right into the pikemen, and naturally these got tons of kills. That's to be expected. These Libyan infantry did amazing. I don't know if they were supporting a pike unit or they were in the front, probably supporting a pike unit, getting more kills than the pike units themselves. Really amazing performance out of this unit. He brought 6 pikes. Yikes. This mercenary noble fighter died, but look at its kills. This unit did a damn good job. Better than this Libyan infantry. This is definitely one of the ones that was in the front, fighting alongside one of the Libyan infantry when a lot of the units charged in, when Dave committed everything to that one point. And his archers, his skirmishers, he brought so many of them, 5 skirmishers, did a really good job at getting some kills. His cav don't show that they really got a lot of kills, but these were like the strategic heroes almost, I want to say, of this entire game. They sniped Dave's general. They sniped his artillery. They died in the end, but he got what was worth from it. Dave didn't even bring a full army. This is a rookie mistake. You always want to bring a full army. You never want to just pick quality over quantity in this, because you're not going to have enough units. Imagine if he just picked some less elite spearmen or swordsmen and he could actually fill the rest of this up with skirmishers. That would have severely helped his offensive and helped whittle down at the pikemen that were blocking the entrances, mostly otherwise undefended by anything else because of the setup of this army. He would have been able to deal a huge blow against Death Ninja, but he went quality over quantity. Also, these onagers must have cost a bit, but they didn't really get any kills. They didn't really do much damage. They didn't really take anything down. They were just sniped. His general got 90 kills, and that is impressive. That is impressive for this general unit. It was like 20 chariots. But he did end up getting sniped, so that did hurt him. His heroic riders were dismounted and sent into the base. He should have gone for a gate if he was going to bring cavalry. He didn't, though, so these were mostly useless. The elite units that he brought otherwise, though, they got some good kills, some of them, but overall the lack of diversity in his army is what hurt him. But that is going to be it. This was, again, a very interesting, unique, I want to say, battle. Lasted about 20 minutes. And we got more of this, where this is coming from. If you'd like to play Total War, Rome 2, or Warhammer with us and in PvP, make sure to join the community server in the link in the description below. And I guess I will see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.